Hello everyone, this is Melissa the Naughty Witch and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well, staying healthy, staying out of group gatherings, and social distancing and being safe. So today I wanted to talk about connecting with nature spirits, connecting with spirits in general of things like plants, crystals, even just spirits in nature. Each place has a spirit. At least in my beliefs, I believe that everything has a spirit. My home has a spirit. Everything does. So I wanted to talk about how to connect to these spirits, how to get in contact with them, or connect with them and get to know like the plants, herbs, crystals, and things that you work with in your magical practice better. So this is going to be my first podcast, but since that didn't work out like I wanted to, and that's okay. We're not going to let that stop us, and we're working on a solution to that. So hopefully that will, it will still be a thing. Hopefully it'll be a thing sooner than what I'm thinking it's going to take. So, so connecting it to nature spirits is something I wanted to talk about. Can I tell you, go through the process that I go through and see if it can help you. You can try it out. If it doesn't work for you, then just play with it and base it on what does work for you. For me, meditation is the key. Is one of the key focal points of my practice. So whenever I meditate, say and y'all don't have a potted plant I could bring in here that wasn't just huge. So I'm going to use a crystal. But if I wanted to meditate with this piece of rainbow fluorite, if you can see that, it's really kind of hard to, but it's really pretty. Anyway, if I wanted to connect with this, I would have it with me, and of course, like if you aren't growing your own herbs or you want to work with anything that you don't have fresh, I guess I should say, in your home, you can take dried herbs. It works the same. It's a little more complicated to really connect with the spirit of something that's no longer attached to the plant. I'm not saying you can't do it. You definitely can. It's just a little more challenging because that spirit isn't alive anymore. It's just kind of the echoes of what was there. And that doesn't mean it doesn't still have a spirit. Obviously, it still does, but it's not as vibrant. It's not as full of life. So it will be different. It will feel different. So anyway, just take whatever plant, if you're growing one, and sit with it. And I sit with it or crystal, like this, and I hold it, place my hands on it in some way, and I meditate with it. And I like the 4 square breathing, the inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4. That really helps kind of signal my body to go into a meditative state. And after I do that, visually, I'm a big visual person. I think a lot of us are. Visually, I see kind of like a ghost version of myself reaching out to the spirit of that object that I'm trying to connect with. If it's a crystal, I see the spirit, almost like the aura, you can call it, of that crystal in my mind. And I can do this. I've done this so much. I can do this with my eyes open. But if you can't, it's okay to close your eyes and just kind of visualize all this. But I visualize the object I'm connecting to. I visualize its spirit. And I visualize, like I said, kind of like a transparent version of myself, a ghost version of myself, reaching out to that spirit. And depending on how it feels when I'm reaching out, it could, for me, a lot of it's emotional. For some people, it's still visual. They can see colors, like, red would be stop, and things like that, just whatever you associate those colors with. But, excuse me, y'all. It depends on how you pick up on energetic vibrations, whether it's emotion or sight or sound, just whatever it is that speaks out the loudest to you. For me, it is emotion. So I reach out towards that spirit, and depending on how, kind of like a handshake. I know handshakes aren't popular right now, but that's kind of what I see in my mind. It is like me trying to, like, hey, introduce myself. Hi, I'd like to get to know you better. Sometimes nothing happens. I don't feel anything. Some plants, some crystals, energy is reluctant. It's just like people. You get a wide variety of emotions, and some plants are a lot more happier to talk to you, are very social, and some are not. So sometimes I don't get anything, and so I just try again until I kind of, finally build up a rapport with that spirit. Sometimes I feel something right off the bat. Sometimes it's very energetic hello, and that spirit wants to connect with me. Sometimes it's reluctant and shy. It just really depends on what you're dealing with and how it reacts to your energy. So sometimes I have to really raise my own energetic levels to interact with certain spirits, whether it be plant or crystal or what, and I do this. I use the same process. I can't talk right now, but I use the same process when dealing with spirits of, a more like elemental nature, whether it's like an actual nature spirit, even in spirits that have passed on, ghosts, spirits, people. I use the same kind of method when it comes to spirits that were once human or like a nature spirit that has a very complex personality, that's more of a nature spirit, like a elemental. I'm a lot more cautious, and I use a lot more protection. I don't necessarily reach so much out with myself, if that makes sense, like I do with things like crystals, or plants. I don't put so much of myself into it. Like with plants and crystals and other objects that people consider inanimate objects, I'm not as guarded. I'm not as cautious. I mean, I'll definitely read the room, if that plant or crystal doesn't want to interact with me, I don't push it, because that's just rude and not the way you win friends, or allies. So I don't push it, but I put more of myself out there. I'm not as protected or guarded. Now, when it comes to spirits of the dead or an elemental or a type of nature spirit, that has its own personality that's not necessarily tied to a physical object, I'm much more guarded. I don't put so much of myself out there. It's more of a telepathic hello than really putting my actual spirit out there to try to interact, because you never know. You never know how that spirit that is not tied to an inanimate object, a spirit that has its own personality and is more closer to a human than, say, a plant, even though that still is not, I'm not comfortable with that definition necessarily, because plants can have very, very expressive personalities. But I think you know what I mean, like an actual spirit, like I said, not tied to an inanimate object. You never know how they're going to react, if it's going to be pleasant, if they're going to just totally, attack or what. So, use caution where you think you need to use caution. So, but yeah, that is what I do. And a lot of time, it's very rare that I can connect with the spirit of a plant or crystal, and it be like an instant connection. That has happened, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen, especially with plants that are from my childhood. Honeysuckle is one of those that smells that take me back 2 summers as a child, running through the pasture and running down to the creek and eating honeysuckles and swimming in, a creek bed or whatever, So that had a very strong connection. I've always had a strong connection with things like that. Smells really enhance, memories and connect to memories well. So I feel like whenever I've really tried to first connect with something like honeysuckle, because I had already had such a strong childhood connection, it was easier. It's not always the case, but in that instance it was. So sometimes it takes just a couple of sessions like that, and you connect and build this beautiful relationship. Sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes some crystals and plants you may not ever really connect with. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean you can't use them or benefit from them, or they benefit from you. It just means that you won't have the relationship that you may have with others. So, it's just like interacting with people. Some people you get along with great. You have some people that you have so much in common, you just click, and you can just tell them anything and talk to them for hours. And some people you never click with. Some people rub you the wrong way. So, it's the same thing. It's the same principle in building a relationship with plants and crystals and other forms of life and their spirits. So when you want to establish spirit allies with plants or crystals, don't rush it. Don't get discouraged if you feel like it's taking a really long time. There is no real time limit. There's no time frame in which you should have that accomplished. So just work with them. Work with them. Like I said, if it works for you to hold that plant or crystal in your hands and meditate and connect with it on a very spiritual level that way, try it. See if that works. You may need to find something else. You may have to constantly be looking at it, or you may have to try different ways. You may just have to talk to them, physically just talk. And I do that. I talk to plants, I talk to crystals, I talk to my cats, I talk to my dogs, I talk to just about anything. I talk to my house, But that's part of it, and it may feel kind of silly, but it's just part of the process. So, and it shouldn't feel silly. I don't know anybody who doesn't do things like that, whether they are in the magical witch community or in the regular mundane community, that they don't talk to inanimate objects. It's kind of a thing we do as people. So, anyway. That is, like I said, that's my process. To me, it's a lot easier to visualize myself and spirit in spirit form, reaching out to connect with whatever spirit I'm trying to connect to. If you're not a visual person, if you're more of an auditory person, you may want to get into that trance state and just talk through it. Hi, this is me. I'm reaching out to you, and see how, if you hear anything back or if you feel anything. Some people are auditory. That is the way that helps them the most to connect to anything, whether it be learning something new or connecting to a spirit. So it really just depends, and I really encourage you to try whatever. If something's not working, try something different. It may just be that plant or that crystal isn't necessarily the most friendliest, or just is a shy or quieter spirit. That took me a while to realize. I think a lot of times I really I take it a little personal sometimes, whenever I can't connect to a spirit, or the spirit of a plant or crystal. You can't help but kind of feel like it's a personal thing. And then I would realize on down the road that, oh, okay, this is just the way this plant is. This plant just doesn't talk a lot. It's really quiet. It just does its thing, and occasionally it will interact, but mostly it just isn't a talker, or it doesn't put off a lot of communication that I can interpret. So don't take it personal. It's hard, but don't do it. Don't take it personal. Just keep working. Just keep working with the plants and crystals and things that you want to work with in your practice, and take it day by day, moment by moment. There's no rush. So it might take you a long time. It might not. You might connect with stuff really, really fast. Like rosemary. I connected with rosemary like that. Like it was just instantaneous, it felt like. And I've always had a good relationship with that plant, especially the rosemary that I have. It's huge now. So it was very easy. But succulents, I can't connect to for shit. I don't know why. I don't know what I've done, but succulents and we are not on the same page. And I think that's one of the reasons why I have so much trouble growing them. I don't know. And I've grown other plants that you basically grow the exact same way that you would, grow a succulent, and I've done great with them, but I still just have so many issues with growing succulents. I don't know. Me and that plant do not connect. And that's just, I can grow aloe vera all day long, but not a succulent. I don't know, y'all. Sometimes that's just the way it is. So yeah, try that. I hope it works with you. Like I said, just meditate. Hold it in your hand if you need to. You don't have to. You can just set that crystal or plant in front of you. Get to a meditative state and reach out. You can do it like I do and see like a transparent version of yourself that physically reaches out, or you can reach out with words, or just however you feel. Make sure that if you try to reach out to something that's not connected to an object that is its own spirit all on its own, that you are cautious. You don't want to invite something in that you can't get rid of. So, or just in your energy, I don't mean like into you, but it invites something to connect with your energy that you don't necessarily want. So, use your kind of common sense, use your good judgment, and practice. That's it. Practice. Don't get discouraged if it doesn't work at first. Just keep practicing. So, I hope that helps. I hope you got something from that. If y'all have any suggestions for videos you would like to see, we all have a lot of time on our hands. I have to admit, here lately, my time has been more spent on cleaning and doing outside projects when I can. Like right now, it's raining and it's supposed to rain all day. But so yeah, I've been kind of diving into that, and journaling has been a thing I've been doing a lot of. And I don't know, I guess I need time to process everything that's going on, and we all do, so don't feel bad if you feel like you've been neglecting your practice or not doing everything you feel like you need to be doing. There is no need to be doing, okay? There's what you can do. So we all are going to have to process this, everything that's going on. It's going to take a while. And every week you might have to process another level of the craziness that's going on. So it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not something that's going to happen quickly. So be gentle with yourself. Take care of yourself. Do what you can, the best way that you can. Don't feel like you have to be doing certain things. You don't have to do anything. I mean, obviously some of us do. So some people have to go to work, like they're essential workers and stuff like that. But you know what I mean. Take care of yourself. Be well. Be excellent to each other. Stay healthy. Wash your hands and stay in your magic, loves. Thanks for watching. Bye.